Hello, and welcome to the Church of Fuck You. I'm St. Patrick. Alright, church, I've been trying to consume some news. I've tried to pull away from it a little bit because it's just been too much recently. But one of the things I heard that just literally made me want to rip my no hair out, but just literally made me want to go crazy, was there was people on, and it wasn't just one person. There were people talking about, the election and it's over because, the media seems to be in unison that the election is over. Biden won, okay? So now they're on the phase 2 of trying to unify the country. And they keep saying, or numerous people keep saying, well, we need to come together and we need to, Trump supporters need to, stop acting like this. They need to just be quiet and accept the election results the way the Democrats did. And they accepted him and they accepted the results for the last 4 years. Are you fucking serious? Like, on what planet do you live? Seriously. So you want Trump supporters to accept the results the way Democrats accepted the results. So you want Trump supporters to act like Democrats acted. Okay, so let's go down this hole. Let's go down this road if you want to. All right, so that means Trump supporters need to start calling for Biden to be impeached like tomorrow, immediately. Okay, he needs to be impeached for whatever fucking reason that they can come up with. He needs to be impeached. All right, anybody in Biden's cabinet who had any kind of connections with any foreign entity ever in their fucking life, ever. I mean, whether they had a phone call, whether they visited, whether they have a business there. I mean, fuck, even if they own just a goddamn iPhone, they need to be investigated by the FBI for the next 2.5 years. And if they lie about anything, where, the FBI says, well, they say, well, I made a call on Wednesday, and the FBI says, sorry, we have our records that says, you made the call on Tuesday, and they'd be thrown in jail immediately for at least 5 years, because that's how Democrats acted. All right? So keep going. I'm sorry, if you see anybody in Biden's campaign, out in a restaurant, out in public, out at the movies, you need to get in their face, you need to scream, and you need to tell them they're not welcome here. Right? Because that's what happened, right? So anybody in Biden's campaign, even beyond that, I'm sorry, any Democrat go anywhere, you need to scream at them, you need to shout at them, you need to take their food, you need to kick them out of restaurants, you need to be in their face 24/7 all the time, because you're going to act the way Democrats acted. So that's how they acted, right? And again, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not saying you should do anything illegal or anything bad or physically harm anyone. I'm saying that to preference this. If Trump supporters see a Biden supporter driving down the street and they decide to pull him out the car and beat the fuck out of him and say, that's what you get for voting for Biden, apparently that is completely acceptable because that's what Democrats did. Okay, and you can disguise it or however you want, you're fighting against evil. Because remember, Biden got the endorsement from the KKK. Biden actually even called one of the grand wizards of the KKK one of his wonderful leaders, his mentor, his teacher. So obviously Biden is racist and you're fighting racism. So you can just use that to highlight anything. And then even further, if you want to fake a hate crime, because again, Biden is racist. If you want to fake a hate crime and say that a Biden supporter came and beat up, or, two Biden supporters came and beat you up and took your Subway sandwich, or whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't take your sandwich, but whatever. You get the point. If you want to fake a hate crime, by all means do it. And if anybody question you or anybody say, you know what, that was a fake crime, why would you ever do something like that? You just deny that shit to the end and say, God damn it, that really happened. Even though there's video evidence and everything else that says to the contrary, that really fucking happened. Anonymous sources. We need anonymous sources, or Trump supporters need anonymous sources galore. I mean, all day, every day. I don't give a fuck what the anonymous source says. The anonymous source can say, Biden was sleeping with a chicken this morning. And that story better run in any pro-Trump media, which granted will be very fucking far few in between, but whatever. Any pro-Trump media or any pro-Republican media needs to run that story every day, all day. And while they're running that story, they need to say, this is concrete proof because we have an anonymous source. And this anonymous source said this. And they need to have people on, like a panel of 45 people, talking about the mental state of the president because he slept with a chicken. Obviously it's true because of your anonymous source. That's what we do, right? That's how they want, or Democrats want, Trump supporters to react to this election the way they did. So again, if you want to get in, Democrats' face and kick them out of restaurants, perfectly acceptable. If Mr. Biden, the racist, because remember, he's definitely racist, because look at his past, he has to be racist. So Biden, the racist, if, he does something you don't like, or you consider to be racist, then you can burn down whatever fucking city you want because you're fighting against racism. So if you see a group of Biden supporters, which you apparently call them anything you want, because apparently Trump supporters have been deplorable, toothless, ignorant, hillbillies, Nazis, white supremacists, everything under the fucking sun, every ism or is or whatever, racist, homophobic, xenophobic, all this other bullshit. And so if you want to call, Biden supporters anything you want, you can call them anything you want, and on top of that, you can physically do anything you want, according to Democrats. Remember, I'm not advocating for this. According to Democrats, you can do anything you want because you're fighting racism. So if you see a guy with a Biden sticker on his car and you beat the fuck out of him, in the Democrat world, that's okay because you're fighting racism and you're handling this election the way they handled their election or their defeat. That's the road we're going to fucking go down. And again, when all this chaos starts and all this shit start happening, we can all sit back, everyone, and blame Biden for being divisive and being so, he's dividing the country, and why this racist president is making it so evil and he's so bad, and any word he says you can flip on and run for years or whatever. This is what they're fucking advocating for. But again, in reality, they're not. They want unity. Funny how they didn't want unity in 2016. They were the La Resistance. Funny how they want everyone to come together now after they literally burned down fucking cities because they didn't get their way. Now we need peace. Now we need comfort. Now, apparently all the white supremacists that got Trump voted in last time no longer exist. Or yes, there's 71 million white supremacists, or whatever the case may be. But again, now we need unity. Now we need to all come together to support Mr. Biden. Okay? So if that doesn't happen, you can't sit back and say, Trump supporters are evil and Trump supporters aren't supporting this country, because again, you're asking Trump supporters to follow the blueprint of accepting an election that you laid out for the last 4 years. So be careful what you fucking wish for. And again, anyone calling for unity or anyone saying that Trump supporters shouldn't act like this, and that's just wrong and that's just bad, and you shouldn't advocate for people to, yell at politicians who are out trying to get a meal. You can simply say, where the fuck were you the last 4 years when this shit was happening on the other side? So anyone calling for unity, anyone calling for peace, anyone calling for acceptance, a lot of Trump supporters, I'm sure, is going to tell you, go fuck yourself, because that shit was nowhere to be found the last 4 years. And now that supposedly Biden is in, now all of a sudden you want peace and unity. I don't think that shit's going to fly. All right, man, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is St. Patrick. I'm out.